Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be sharing with you guys my own personal microbrand collection. Now, a common question that I get over the years, with all my microbrand reviews that, which are the ones I personally keep, which are the watches that I've personally enjoyed the most. And to sum it up, these 15 watches right here are some of my most favorite watches of all the reviews I've done over the years. So I'll just like to share them with you guys, and alright, let's get into it. Alright, so the first watch I'd like to share is this Maison Celadon Yue Fei. So I really like this watch, for those of you that know, I'm not really a fan of dive watches, but this, was really different. I love the angular nature of the case, so as you guys can see, the case is heavily faceted here. So it really has a very striking wrist presence, It has a wonderful, lovely sort of gradient dial that changes colors in different lighting. And very nice 3D applied indices. So this, simply put, this is a very different dive watches from the masses of dive watch microbrand watches out there. So I really like this one, and again, it's a Singaporean microbrand, so support. So this is the Maison Celadon Yue Fei, and I really enjoyed it a lot over the years. Next is the Arcturus LC1. Now I'll say that this is probably one of my favorite microbrand watches I've ever reviewed, I've ever worn. I love the Art Deco styling of this watch. I mean, look at it. It just looks so different, from, again, the masses of microbrand watches out there. It's immediately, eminently striking. I love the mother of pearl. I love the mother of pearl dial there as well. I love even the size of the case, which is ripped. A definite conversation starter, that's for sure. Yeah, one of my favorite microbrand watches, and one that I probably wear the most often, I would say. Now up next is the Humism Daesin. Now this is one of my favorite microbrand watches, simply because again, it's very unique on the reason. When it comes to microbrands, I like things that are unique, and this is probably one of the most unique offerings out there. I mean, look at it. Look at the kinetic art dial, how the way it morphs. It's literally like art, art on the wrist. So different. It has been such a conversation starter, as well. Even non-watch enthusiasts are interested in it. Wants to know what it is and wants to get hands on one. And again, it's relatively affordable as well. So really affordable, really fun, really ingenious and innovative. Again, Singaporean micro brand, so repping my hometown right here. Really enjoy this one. I can't wait to see what Humism does next. Now up next is my UNDONE Urban Vintage. I've reviewed quite a lot of UNDONE watches over the years, but this is ultimate. This was, I think, one of my first UNDONE watches, and it's still my favorite because of how customized it is. So UNDONE, even though they do a lot of sort of design watches now, they were first known for offering customizable watches. So I customized this myself using UNDONE's customizer tool, and therefore you have touches like I chose the red seconds hair. I chose to have the words "Be True" inscribed on the dial, and at the back as well, you'll find a quote by Invictus, the poem. Let me see if I can get it closer to the camera. Let's see, the camera can focus. Yep, there you go. So there's a quote there that says, "Master of my fate, captain of my soul." So it's sort of, whenever I have this watch on, it reminds me, that I'm in charge of my own destiny. That sort of thing, So it's a piece, I think, with significance, which not every microbrand piece has, and therefore I hold, this watch very dear to my heart. And it's a great, lovely vintage vibes as well. This one, one of my favorite UNDONE watches. One that I still wear very often to today. Alright, up next we have this. So this is the Aries Gold Jolter watch. Now this was the first Aries Gold watch that I've reviewed, and to be honest, I would say this is still one of my favorite Aries Gold watch. I mean, look at it. Now this has a very low price tag. I believe it's about 180 Singapore dollars, or about 130, 140 USD. But the amount of depth that's in the skeletonized dial, it's simply amazing for the price. A sapphire crystal as well. And you have a sweeping seconds hand chronograph, as you guys can see here. The chronograph extra, is lovely as well. I think for the price of 130 USD, or about 180, 190 Singapore dollars, I think it's amazing. Skeletonized dial with plenty of depth, as well as that big dip at the top. One of my favorite microbrand watches, one of my favorite Aries Gold watches to date. I had to pack on this lovely rally strap. I think the sporting and racing heritage of the Jolter really comes to life. So yeah, I love the way the chronograph hand spin as well. Just reset it. Yeah, there you go. One of my favorite watches, Aries Gold Jolter. One that I think I'll probably keep my collection. So like UNDONE, Aries Gold also allow for customization. So I had the words "Never Quit" inscribed on the case of the watch. So every time I wear this, you know, it's sort of like an inspiration or something to drive me to, you know, keep pushing on, to never quit, to just, you know, keep racing in life. So yeah, again, another watch I say has personal significance to me. Alright, up next is this, the Phoibos Eagle Ray Super Compressor. So I really do like, you know, this watch. Again, like I said earlier, I'm not a fan of dive watches, but for some reason, you know, the Fume red dial, as you can see, I'm trying to play along with the lighting here so you can see how it captures the light in different angles. The Fume red dial is really very lovely. It's very eye-catching, you know. Most dive watches, let me admit, are Submariner homages and look kind of boring, but here, you know, with the red Fume dial, it's just, again, very attractive, very striking, and probably one of my favorite dive watches, I would say. So yeah, love is for the red dial that it has. Okay, this is something a bit more unique. This is the Lytt Lab Inception V1. So as you guys can see, like I mentioned earlier, I prefer my Microbrand watches to be more unique, something that's more out there, something that's more different from the norm, something that, you know, you can't really get at your mainstream brands at this price point. And this, you know, Inception from Lytt Labs is one of them. Again, a local brand, a Singaporean brand. But I mean, look at it, it's just so different, you know. Like, yes, that square case, let me see if I bring this closer to the camera. Like a lovely honeycomb dial, you know, what a unique way of telling time. When I wear this on the wrist, it just, you know, feels and looks very different. Again, it's another conversation starter, that's for sure. But yet, you know, it's well built. Okay, you can see that it's well designed. You can see that, you know, it's faceted. The way the case is beveled. There's a lot of thought that went into this, and I really like the innovation in design here. One of my favorite Microbrand watches that I wear, a definite conversation starter even amongst watch enthusiasts. And for, you know, I think this costs about 500 Singapore dollars. So about at 500 Singapore dollars, that's about a quarter the price of a 7 Friday. So I'll definitely get this over a 7 Friday. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, it's very comfortable as well on its rubber silicone strap. Wearing this on the wrist, very comfortable, very sporty. And again, by a local brand, so support local, man. Alright, midway through my collection is this Reverie Diver. So like the Phoibos, like I said, I think I have something for red dials now. I know green is the current in thing, but I think I have a thing for red dials. I really do love red dials, especially, you know, on dive watches, and the Reverie Diver is another one. This is a bit more, I would say, elegant, a bit more sophisticated than the Phoibos one. You know, this is more sporty, really more dive watches. This I think can, you know, masquerade as a dress watch of sorts. A bit more in the sense of a Rolex Explorer sort of feel. Yes, let me see if the camera can capture it. You can see it's a very nice guilloche pattern as well. Again, guilloche is something you usually see on dress watches. So to see it here on a dive watch is something interesting, gives the watch a bit more refinement and character. And again, very affordable. I believe this is about 500 Singapore dollars. You know, very well built as well. I can see the polishing on the case is very super, very well finished watch. Yeah, again, one of my favorite dive watches, definitely, and very eye-catching with the red dial. And once again, you know, Reverie is a Singaporean watch brand, so, you know, supporting my Singaporean brands, man. Alright, up next is this. This is the Aevum Advance GT. So this has a bit more of a field watch aesthetic, a bit more of a go anywhere watch. Now I believe everyone, you know, needs to have this sort of grab and go watch in their collection. For some maybe the Panerai, for some maybe, you know, their Longines, but this does it for me, at least in my Microbrand collections. Now there's a very casual sort of tool watch vibe to this that I like. You know, and again, for the specs, you know, it really is like a great value proposition. So this is about 300 Singapore dollars, if I recall correctly. Sapphire crystal, NH85 movement, bulletproof. Aesthetic wise, you know, I love the navy dial, and it reminds me of like the Longines VHQ or VHP, I believe it's called. Very simple aesthetic, but again, goes well with anything. I grab this when I want something a bit more subtle. You know, I'm just going out with friends, sitting to the bar with a t-shirt and shorts on. This is the one that I grab. Yeah, very nice watch. Now, in contrast to the Aevum Advance, we have this. This is the Egard Icon V1. So this is obviously a bit more blingy. I call this my rapper watch. You know, this is my bling bling watch. In my Microbrand collection at least. So this has an integrated bracelet. Integrated bracelet is an in thing now. It's a style de-jour. So, but the integrated bracelet on this Egard Icon is very well done. I'll say this is one of the best integrated bracelets that I've seen at this price point. So yeah, the finishing, you know, is superb. The dial as well with the ovoid shape, you know, something that's very uncommon. It doesn't, even though it's an integrated bracelet, right? But it doesn't come across as like a Audemars Piguet or like a Patek Philippe Nautilus homage in any way. It is its own design. but while retaining, you know, the popularity that comes with an integrated bracelet watch. So yeah, I like this for the uniqueness. I like this for how eye-catching it is, how different it is. I have to give props to Egard for developing such a unique integrated bracelet watch. I wear this, you know, on days I want to be a bit more ostentatious in a way. You know, like I said in my review of this Egard Icon V1, this is my Conor McGregor, my Eminem watch in a sense. Alright, up next is this Achtung Galaxy. Now, this is one of my favorite watches that I received and reviewed this year at least. And it's not hard to see why. Now, as the name suggests, the Galaxy is supposed to evoke the cosmos on the wrist. I think it really does a good job of doing that, you know, with the lume-filled stars that scattered across the dial. And you know, it has an intriguing way of time telling as well. The sweeping seconds hand, you know, for the seconds, the moon for hours, and the little yellow aeroplane, you know, for the minutes. Combined with like the square case that it really has a very strong wrist presence on the wrist. For those of you that's looking for something different but still sophisticated and classy, you know, I highly recommend Achtung Galaxy. This has been a surprise for me thus far. I was really surprised at how much I've liked it. But yeah, again, one of the Microbrand watches that I wear the most, I would say. I really do love how this stands on the wrist. I have gotten a lot of compliments on it. I think that goes to show how lovely a design it has. And again, it's not that expensive for what it is. It's about $700, so I think very good value for money if you're looking for, you know, a striking statement on the wrist. Okay, here we have the Nordgreen Pioneer. Now, Nordgreen Pioneer is sort of like my minimalist in open quotes watch I have. So you can see all the other watches are very complicated. You know, this is probably the most let me see the camera can focus. This is probably like the most minimalist watch I have. You know, it does veer more into the fashion watch territory, I admit, but I really do like it because of, you know, how simple, how clean the design is. I think most minimalist watches fall into the trap that minimalism is void of design, but here, you know, it's not devoid of design anyway. Like all the aesthetic, you can see how sculpted, how the subdials have a sculpted look, right? It really does follow that Scandinavian sort of principles of minimalism, and I can see why it has won like the Red Dot Design Award of 2020. You know, when I'm feeling something, I mean, I don't really want to say this, but you know, on the days where I feel a bit more basic, you know, I just want to wear something that goes well with the rest of my outfit. This is the one I reach for because, I mean, it pairs well with almost anything, you know, because of its minimalist design. Yeah, and it's quite a good looking watch as well. And again, quite affordable, about 300 Singapore dollars. Yeah, an easy grab and go watch. Okay, here we have the Advisor Ascent. Now, like I said, I don't really like dive watches, but again, this is an exception. While the other dive watches I have, you know, sort of have red dials on, this has a very nice blue dial that's sunburst infinity as well, so it really plays very well in the light. It really pops on the wrist. And I paired it, you know, with this blue FKM strap from Nomad Watchworks. So, you know, this is sort of like my sporty watch in a sense. Again, the rest of my dive watches are on bracelet. This is something a bit more different. A super compressor, you know, with full patina is sort of like a vintage feel to it. So yeah, I say it's nothing extraordinary, but it's good value for money. I think it's about 300 plus or 400 Singapore dollars. Rock solid, you know, it's something that I reach for when I play sports or things like that, you know. Highly versatile as well due to me pairing on a rubber strap. And again, you know, because of its design, looks great on anything, especially its sunburst blue dial. Yeah, and again, Advisor is a Singaporean watch brand as well, so shout out to my local watch brands. Now for the penultimate watch in my collection, here we have something a bit more different. This is the TACS AVL2. So as you guys can see, you know, this is very camera inspired. It's supposed to mimic like the lens of a watch. I've showed this to one of my photography friends and he really fell in love with it. What he loved most was how, you know, the bezel can be turned just like, you know, the lenses of the camera, and he was really he really fell in love with that aspect of this watch, I guess. So I think it really does a very good job at, you know, harnessing its camera inspiration. And again, on the wrist, you know, it's bound to be a conversation starter. It is a bit thick, so admittedly I don't wear this very often. But you know, if I know that I'm meeting like a camera enthusiast or what, I'll just wear this watch just to, you know, show it off to them and see how they react to it, because it is a very nice watch. And I think it really does appeal, you know, to camera enthusiasts, of which there are a lot here in Singapore, at least in my friend circle. So yeah, if you're a camera enthusiast, I highly recommend this watch. I've not met a photography enthusiast that has not liked this watch yet. So yeah, again, this for me is like the watch I wear whenever I go and shoot photos or whenever I go and meet my photography friends. Alright, last but not least is this WULF Exo. Now this is a Swiss-made watch with a Swiss movement but skeletonized. Now I really do like my skeletonized watches, but you know, in the microbrand sphere, very few does skeletonized dials right. But I think WULF is one of them, especially here on the Exo. I mean, look at it. I mean, it looks stunning. You know, I've shown this watch to a lot of enthusiasts and they all loved it. The intricacy of the skeletonization, how you can see the beating heart, the balance wheel here, is stunning. And again, it's very affordable. I believe as of now, it's about 400 plus Singapore dollars. So for 400 plus Singapore dollars, you can get a Swiss made watch with a Swiss movement and a skeletonized dial. I think that's quite unheard of. I also particularly love, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but I love how you can see the lux. There's such a beveled edges to the lux. It's contoured, so it's not your typical, you know, factory case. It has a very graceful, you know, line or shape to it that I really do like. And this is something that I wear, I guess, when I want something not so ostentatious like perhaps the Egard, but still something of a statement. I wear this skeletonized watch. It really does make me appreciate the beauty of a mechanical watch, so to speak. And again, for a Swiss made watch, great value for money. And alright, so these are my favorite microbrand watches. I've shortlisted 15 and put it in this box here. Now, I did do a previous video on my favorite personal watches, my own personal watch collection. It's done very well on YouTube apparently. It's about over 5,000 views as of, you know, this time of filming. So I thought, why not do one on microbrand watches instead, since I actually do review quite a few microbrand watches. So if you're interested in any of these 15 watches here, you can go and look at my detailed reviews on them. I'll link the detailed reviews down below. And I think for most of them, there's a promo code as well for you to get any of these watch at a slightly cheaper price. But yeah, these are, I've reviewed a lot of microbrands over the years. These are the 15 that I've enjoyed the most. And there you have it. I hope viewing my microbrand collection was interesting for you guys. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up, do share around. As always, I'll catch you guys in my next video. Ciao!